All right, fam, wherever you are, we begin circle practice, opening the direction. So if you feel called, if you have the capacity to stand, I encourage you to stand. We begin opening the directions. It's a ritual, it's a ceremony, it's a calling response with spirit, it's an awakening of spirit. In the tradition that I'm initiated in, we begin at the east, which for me is in this direction. I encourage you to figure out which direction is east in your own space. When you're ready, descending into your toes, your feet if you're standing, or your bottom if you're not. Allowing your shoulder blades to fall, gently being pulled down to the earth so the heart may open. Extending the neck, extending the crown up to the heavens. Inhaling, and exhaling. Let's descend into our bodies, be fully embodied in order to commune with spirit. So we inhale all the smells, all the sounds, fill our body. One more just like that at your own rhythm. Casa del Este, to the house of the east, we've come to awaken you. Here, house of illumination, we've come to ask for permission to host ceremony today. Will you please lend us your fire? Hear direction of the goddesses like Sipitotec, the goddess of rebirth, death, and birth. We call on you energias of new beginnings. Today, when we plant new seeds for our nourishment, plant new seeds for collective healing. Today, may this circle inspire the child in every one of us. Spirits of the fire, spirits of new beginnings, we call on you to alchemize new beginnings inside of these sacred beings, this sacred circle, this sacred moment. With much humility and with the sweetness of venado running around in summertime, blissfully creating new stories and remembering new heartbeats, we say, gracias, gracias, gracias. Ache. Aho. I'm going to go ahead and try to unmute you all so we can hear. House of the South, we come to awaken your portal. We come your humble children to ask. Turn our attention to the dirección del oeste. Here, the house of the west, house of intuition, house of the unknown, house of the underworld. Call on you, here in the house for our fear, for our trends, for those divergent, the children that do activists that Day, we be a part of the sacred circle. Here in the direction of the west, we remember that we are nothing without water and that we are water itself. Here in the direction of the west, we remember that we are nothing without the stories, without the breath, without the histories, their stories of those that have taken from Here we remember our intuition. Here we remember that healing necessitates emotion. And be emotional about the waters. May our waters flow. With humility and love, we say, gracias, gracias, gracias.
Gracias, gracias, gracias.
To direction of the north. A la casa del norte, que venimos a despertar esta noche. We've come to awaken you direction of the north. We've come, your humble children, to ask for you to join us today. House of the ancients, house of the elders, come and bless this sacred space with your presence today. We humbly ask that you make your lessons learned, that you teach us about rest. Here, where elders go to die, here elders go to rest. Here, the direction of this descanso. May we to find peace. Peace after conflict. Peace while we're transforming. Peace. Gracias, gracias, gracias. Facing the center, bodies with the center, you're new to circle, new to opening direction. This is the part if we were all in circle, we facing each other. We extend our arms, our chest, our energy, our everything to you. Sky people, star people, moon people, sun people. Here the house of the angelic ones, here the house of the fairies and the angels, the gods, the goddesses, the divas, the protectors. May you shine on this circle and every day. We look upon you for the teachings, for the reminder, for the mirror. For the mirror that we remember each time we look on you, that we, like you, are stars. We are made up of the same stardust that created the universe. We are capable of everythingness, and we are capable of nothingness, and we are both perfect and imperfect. We ask for the fairies to sprinkle down their fairy dust on this sacred circle. May we laugh, may we smile, may we forget, may we be graceful. Gracias, gracias, gracias. Ache.
Ashe, ashe.
Come down to the earth, putting our bodies literally heart to the earth. If you do yogic postures, this is child's pose. Your heart is bent over the earth, maybe kneeling or maybe even laying if you have knee issues or feel knee discomfort today. Allowing your heart and your face to rest down on the earth. Sachamama Tonantzin Gaia, Mother Earth. We've come to open the portal. For more than anything, Sachamama, we've come to ask for you. We're laid upon you at this moment, heart to heart, protecting you with our strength. Here to ask forgiveness for every moment for which we have walked upon your back and forgotten we are walking upon a back. For every moment in which we walked upon your back and not honored ourselves. Every moment that we've walked upon your back and not honored others. Please forgive us. Please forgive us. We're here to host sacred ceremony. Be on our rites of passage. Be on our path for healing today. Will you join us? We humbly ask for permission. And here's the place where you've named the people and the lands that you are on, the keepers of the land. I've come to ask permission of the Wampanoag, the Aquinnah, the Mashpee, and all the Black liberation fighters from Melaniakas, Mucknucks who walk upon these lands that are so-called Rock's Ferry. But to ask for your permission to hold ceremony today, to learn him, to honor the earth, your hope and feedback and use. Much love and humility we say to the earth. Gracias, gracias, gracias. Coming back to the final direction, sitting back at your seat, your body to rest in a seated posture. Make sure that you're inhaling in all the breaths you need to be taking. Inhaling into the center. Hands out over your chest or wherever your center is today. We begin and we close each circle practice here at the center. For at the center, live the teachings of Nulakesh. Can y'all hear me? Oh, awesome. Beautiful. Okay. Apologies. Welcome to our second gathering in opening our container. It's super exciting to be with you all. Let me figure out this computer situation first. Hold on. Let me move a few things around. Worked last time are not working today. Oh, beautiful. All right. So excited to be with you all tonight. It's super beautiful. Beautiful to be watching our thread and seeing how it keeps growing, how you keep sharing resources. It's abundance. It's complete abundance. I don't know about how you're feeling about it. I would love if there's folks who weren't in our call last time. There are a few folks who left early, who didn't introduce themselves, and folks who just didn't get to be with us. If you would love to, we would love to know you and hear from you. I want to make space, a few moments here for you to share your name, share your pronoun, and share the lands that you are on right now. And if you want to share your work and to rites of passage, please. So who was not here last time would like to begin.
I could talk.
And if you want to share, just unmute your mic and
Oh yeah. Hi. Hi everyone. I am.
Mute your mic. Hold on. Let me help you.
Oh.
You
Oh,
can
it
tell
looks like.
yourself in the corner, I think.
Oh yeah. It says there's no red line over
Oh, it
it.
says it
But
before we can't hear you. Let me see. Is everyone else hearing them? Okay.
oh. Okay. Cool. Hi everybody. Um. Thank you so much for holding this space. Um. And my name is Annika. I use they them pronouns. I am on unceded Mashpee Wampanoag lands in what's known as Boston, actually Cambridge specifically, but that's actually um, a whole other kind of white magic that they're doing over here, I guess is what you call it. But so yeah, I was so sorry to miss last time. I got a chance to watch the video and have been just like really loving this ritual that we're creating the space for. It's been really feeding me. One of the things that's brought me to this work is through like healing my own like mental health stuff and having to learn outside of kind of Western medicine, things that were kind of forced on me, and also like a history of reproductive harm through like Western the medical industrial complex. And so having to find some other way of being well and being whole outside of that is what like kind of brought me to herbs specifically, but also recently have been doing a lot of journeying with like meditation and presence, and in order to like heal traumas and things like that. And so I am super excited to be like joining the lineage of folks, both in my own bloodline and outside of it, to be engaging with all of these magics that I know and so many that I don't, and to be learning so many things from you all just over the course of the last week with the Facebook and stuff. It's been, I feel like such deep gratitude for this space. So thank you.
Just joining us, welcome. We're making space for folks to share last time a little bit about themselves, pronoun, the lands that you're on, and we drew you to this journey.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, everyone. I'm Allie, she, hers, her pronouns. I'm currently on Piscataway and Pamunkey lands, also known as the DMV area, DC. I come here from a blessed referral from someone who has been a healer to me, who partook in this journey last year, Carmen Leah. And before that, I was just looking for opportunities to reconnect with Earth, with healing that's not Western and not centered around pathologizing everything. You're experiencing something and it is bad and it needs to be fixed with medicine. And so trained as a clinical social worker and also someone who's extremely therapized, I experienced the limits of that type of healing in both seats, in both sides, and just was interested in connecting again with self, connecting with lineage. My family has a lot of trauma, and so that stopped me from looking further back into the more recent ancestors. And so for a long time, I thought I couldn't commune with ancestors because I'm not talking to the living ones. So how can I? I felt bad about that, felt a lot of guilt. So it was really healing just from the bit I saw on Seed, Root, and Bloom and other community healers around that. So long story short, just wanting to connect with self and earth and ancestor in all the ways that can look. And I'm so happy to be here with you folks. I'm sorry I wasn't able to be present last ceremony. I did also look at the video and was touched by how much everyone shared. And thank you so much for your openness and creating that space that I got to look at later. So thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here.
Welcome, welcome.
Hi, folks. I'm Bernadette B. I'm out in Washington State, other end of the 90 for most of y'all. And I go by she, her primarily in super spaces, go by they, them. I am on very much unceded Snoqualmie lands. I live in Snoqualmie, Washington. And I came to this work probably about 5 years ago, becoming much more connected to ancestor and plant spirit in particular, after a really traumatic fertility journey. I now have 2 lovely adopted children. And back then when I was journeying with plants, it was very white-centered. I mean, obviously we all know that herbalism has some very significant appropriation going on, but didn't make the connection between my grandmother. I grew up in Texas and my family is mostly from the South. My mom's side is from Alabama. My father's side is from Louisiana. But never really dug deep before my grandmother passed away into her ways of knowing, although grew up in her garden. And my mom, in her last years with me, this side also was big on gardening with me. So when I went to Canada last year and met Zochi as Bayaks there, it was this lovely, beautiful, people of color centered space that particularly centered trans and queer folks in ways that was just magnificent and so eye-opening to me. And I got to journey a bit with them as they thought through, I have this in-person seed, root, and bloom, what might it look like distance learning? And so I'm just so excited to get to be a part of this, although I would fly to Boston every week if that didn't destroy the environment to be a part of this. So I'm super excited to be part of this distance opportunity.
Bienvenida. Bienvenidex to the space. All right. Is there anyone else who wasn't here with us last session that would want to share name, pronoun, the lands you're on, and what drew you to the journey? Trying to like go by name. I think most folks were here last time.
Hi.
Godwin, yeah. And you were.
Hi. I don't know if you can hear me. Hello? Oh, hi. Okay. I'm Maimuna. I use they, them, theirs pronouns. I am currently on Wappinger and Lenape lands in Poughkeepsie, New York. Yeah, I go to Vassar College. And yeah, I definitely have been really struggling. I think I have been launched into this work. It seems like this year, my ancestors, specifically my grandfather who passed right before I was born, and my great-grandmother, I like really feel like those 2 people have really like shoved me into this work, and I've been sort of guided through my own struggles with mental and physical health into sort of finding just a different way of taking care of myself and learning about myself. And there's definitely been a war waged on this campus. It's super hard to find. It's super hard to find spaces where I feel nourished by taking care of myself and by existing in the ways that feel nourishing. That's just not really rewarded at a predominantly white institution. So I'm really excited. I have not watched the video from last week, but I'm super excited to get into it all, and I'm really grateful because I don't know, I don't have the opportunity to have these sort of conversations very often, and a lot of my QT POC friends aren't on campus this semester due to numerous reasons. So I'm just really grateful to have this community, especially when shit's popped off. So thank you.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Keep your eyes on the chat. Folks are responding to you all, right? And are connecting and are like snapping and are like, yup, I'm with you, or that's happened to me before, or I have this offering. So keep your eyes there. I'm so excited. I feel a lot of beautiful spring energy today. So last time we began, and if you moved through the coursework, we began already with our plant meditation work and sitting with a platita. Today you were asked to prepare a tisane, right? Or a tea, oat straw tea. I like to prepare them in French presses. I don't know if there's another name for them. If there is, let me know. It's easy. I like do my little spells on the herbs, I hang out with them, get to walk with them everywhere. Everywhere I go, I'll bring them to the shower with me, I'll put them on my altar. It's fun. So we're gonna get into a meditation. I'm gonna ask if it feels comfortable to get into a more seated posture, and a posture where you're gonna be able to receive the best. I recommend avoid laying down unless you're having like sciatica or like pretty intense back pain. Pour yourself your cup, and if you did not prepare a cup, it is gonna be okay. It happens. We're all doing our best. I know I am. Sometimes I won't be fully ready for you all, but I'm gonna do my best. There's only love here. So then your role as a plant communer right now is really gonna be to try to meet the energy, the love, the plant that is before you, even though they're not near you. So trying to sense their spirit. I'll talk through it. I'll move you through a movement, and whatever comes through, right? We are an intuition-based space. Whatever comes through to you, whatever thought, whatever color, whatever sound, whatever word, wherever you begin to feel during this interval, that's the presence of Oat Straw, what they're trying to allow us to see a little deeper. And for those of us who may have not gotten the right plant, it's gonna be okay too. You can meditate with the plant that you have. Just make a note, right? The name of the plant, and this is the feels that they're giving you and the wisdom that they're giving you. And make a note if you have the capacity to go get Oat Straw, go do that. I'll try to make this a little easier for folks by adding botanical names, right? We talked about that, the governing name of the plant, so you can grab them. So let's ease into our seat. Feel safe and comfortable. You either can turn off the video function so you can close your eyes and your body can be where it needs to be. If you feel comfortable leaving it on, however you need to be. So inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling. You have difficulty tapping into your breath or finding stillness, and you have a blessing herb near you, I have a little bit of copal with me right now. So if I'm having difficulty sinking in, I'll bring them near me. I'll allow them to engulf me a little bit, allow me to descend, allow my mind to stop running a little bit. This practice is a practice of being in all of our senses. And I like to call my sixth sense my intuition, and my seventh my ancestor. Bringing the cup toward you, right? Bringing this new being toward you. You wouldn't meet a new person and just run up to them. Some of us are introverts. We need people to like crawl towards us and barely make eye contact. So as you're coming to the plant, maybe you're sniffing them first. Noticing how they make your face feel, or if their smell goes somewhere in your body immediately, or to a memory. Continue to deepen your breath. Saying hello, whether it's with words, whether it's with a smile, whether it's with like looking down at your cup and being like, hey, I see you. Welcome to bring oat straw into your mouth space. Holding them. Feeling the weight, what they have to offer. In these next few moments, allow yourself to come back to your breath as you continue to sense the spirit of this plant ally. Continuing to sip. Continue to trust that every word you hear, every color that's coming through, every memory, even the kind of to-do list that's popping up, has a place in magic, is a teacher. Oat straw. Show me where you want to offer healing today. And take me to where you need healing today. something you're curious about, the shade of a color, a thought that's running through your mind, sensation in your body. Remember, you have the power to ask. The next couple of sips, allow yourselves to offer gratitude. If you're called, taking the next couple of minutes to reflect, to write what came through to you. You may do so by continuing to sip. Or by just sitting in stillness. Taking the next few moments to continue writing, finish a thought. Knowing you can always return to be with this plantita. Actually, part of your practice is to return to be with a plantita. So you can deepen if with old straw, if that's where your heart is pulling you. And every plant meditation will open up this space to learn more from each other. We're constructing knowledge here together. So We'll open the next few minutes for folks who want to share where in the body they may have felt oat straw, where anything that came through, any message, any wisdom you have to offer to us. Yeah. So if you're ready, you just jump in and you share. If two people talk at the same time, one of you will talk. It's a pretty egalitarian space. It's pretty awesome. You'll see if you want to share.
Hello, everyone. I think this one was really wild in terms of like what form and like essence was experiencing. The last session we had, everyone was, and I mean not to compare, but just realizing that the response last time was much more physical than it was anything else, and this time it was like all encompassing. It was cerebral. That's the first part I felt it go, was like up over here. And so it was cerebral. And the first image that came to me was a clearing of a forest that I have never seen before, but felt really familiar. And almost like I've experienced that space before. And then the following image, or the following visual, was oat straw in its vegetative form, which I thought was really was really welcoming and affirming. The other thing that started, just, it was like a chant that was just recurring and would stop and then start again. It was just, we are from here, we are from here. And the word, it, like, I don't know what the word was, but it was like a foreign word that I'm not sure I would pronounce correctly, but the word made me feel so like a lot here. And this one was really, really intense. This was really intense, but in a really affirming and like connected way that I can't really explain with words right now. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that.
I wanted to say that you were talking about how you sort of felt it go up and over. And the very first instinct that I had while meditating was like Otsura was telling me to sort of like wash my face with it. And then it sort of traveled up and back, and I could feel it sort of traveling down the back of my head and like down my spine and sort of like right here. So that's really, really cool.
I also wanted to just, am I talking? I wanted to speak to, okay, cool. Speak to connection also. I felt really like, it's really interesting kind of coming to some of these herbs and trying to like sort of let go of like what I know about them already to try and like be with them in a new form. And for me, I was really also really surprised, I think, with this connection with oat straw. I like very immediately also had a vision of being in like outside. I think it was like a field of oat straw that felt very like sun shining through, like had this image of like running my hands through it, and very much felt like ancestral lands of some form, or ancestral afterlife sort of like lands, and just was like super overwhelmed with grief, and like was really grateful that you invited us to like turn off our video, because I don't think I would have done it otherwise. And so it felt really like it felt really nice to have that moment to myself, and I feel really grateful to get to share that with you all. And similarly felt some like a lot of heat at the back of my head and neck, and then actually felt called to hold oat straw, just the like mug at my belly, and just like kind of felt that there. So Anyway, I wanted to share that. Thank you all.
So I felt a really like intense sense of calm just wash over my whole body, and then also experienced like a sensation of like my chest like opening sort of, and just like almost like something was being released from like this area. And then I also had like a warm kind of buzzy sensation like in my upper jaw area that sort of extended like into my ears and upwards.
I got a lot of like gold and white light. And I also had that like field. I was like in that field in the sunshine, and that was nice. And I also spilled it all over myself. So I was like, okay, I think we're cool. I'm in.
I don't know if it's like la plantita or if it's the drums, but I find that my body really likes to move when I do some type of meditation. It just like wants to move like circularly. It's just such an inviting and like loving and beautiful feeling to want to move your your body. I don't know. It's as if I can't sit still, but like in a good way, like rhythmic, just spiral. I felt like I saw like a spiral going on, and also blue. It was beautiful.
I feel like I'm I'm still having a hard time like fully landing in my body to connect and like journey with the plants. And I'm going to share that in case anyone else has a hard time too. And I find myself like, I feel like so nervous, right? Of like, am I seeing images? Am I hearing anything? What am I feeling? And then like, that makes it hard to actually just see what I'm seeing or whatever. But so that's the initial struggle. And then I did see a field of it was corn, which I think it might look a little similar. And when I asked it to go where I needed to heal, and I felt like it wrapped itself around my heart. And I still kind of feel like a little choked up by that. I know a couple people have said grief, so that feels affirming. I'm like, oh, I felt that too.
I saw gold and yellow too. And I felt like a child. I felt very young in an open space, but I had a sense of myself as I experienced life earlier in life. And sunshine too, but very gold, very bright. I felt it from my neck go down into my lower back and my stomach. And I did feel kind of a ease, like a tightness in my chest eased up. Yeah.
Of a weight almost immediately leaving. I felt a gentle buzzing.
A very low, Ellie.
Is that a little better?
Yes.
Okay. We'll take these out. Thank you. So I felt a very light sensation, like a lightness, like floating around the head. I instantly saw visions of my mother and a usual conflict that we have, but me responding in a lighter way. I started crying like intensely for a second and then immediately started laughing afterwards. So again, thank you as well. I think someone said this earlier for saying that we can turn off our cameras, because I think it would have been harder to go with that journey. And then I heard a message when I asked questions of slow down, just slow down. Like don't put so much on yourself. Kind of similar to what Claudia said, feeling like, oh, am I hearing the right thing, or feeling the right thing, seeing the right thing? The message just said slow down and lighten up in a very loving way.
My meditation got interrupted because my animals like came running in and like jumped on me, but I guess they were excited too. But yeah, like before that happened, I really did feel like it felt more like wind. And I know someone had mentioned that they were kind of like moving back and forth, and I kind of felt the same thing, but it felt like I was kind of doing the same movement that oat straw does, like in the wind. It's crazy because like right before our gathering, I was walking and I just saw like a field of oat straw, and so I just like kind of stopped for a moment and like was breathing with it, and it felt really nice because it was like as if it was just kind of like slowly like hugging me, letting me know like, you know, it's okay to just kind of like chill for a minute. You don't always have to be like go, go, go. Just stop and smell the flowers for a bit. And it was very gentle. But I resonate with what Jamie was saying so much, how she felt it like right here and through the ears. Like I definitely felt it kind of like dancing in the back of my mouth. So I kind of like swished it around like it was mouthwash a bit. And then it just kind of like I felt like a little like pop where it was like, oh, okay, we got all that out. Oh. Mm-hmm.
I definitely felt that sense of like, it hooked me back to a memory of like when I was picking milky oats last summer and it was very sunny. And I think in that space too, like, I felt like my feet like cool as if it was like walking in like soft mud. And like in that space, like really like envision myself like sitting in that mud. And there's something about, I think, the murkiness of how oats looks like that made me think a lot about, and like I saw a lot of like murky green water, like what's like waiting in like still water was like another image that came for me. And I think that definitely that like sinking in that space and like relaxing or letting my body just like sink down, or like that, like a pulling down. And then I also felt closer to the end of the like meditation, like kind of like the oats like pulling out like maybe anxiety or like just pulling things out that needed to be coming out of me.
Mm. This is my favorite part of teaching and holding space, is hearing you all speak and share your experiences. I really want to, so for those of you who are new or just need a reminder, what I'm sharing, so this is more of a plant wisdom part where I'm sharing more about physical and spiritual medicine based on my experiences, my readings, my teachers. You're welcome to add anything that you need to add about that's coming through for you. If you resonate with something, let us know. If you have a question, let us know too. This is super exciting. I love this plantita. And I really appreciate, Claudia, you naming like I was that kid who sat in meditation for the longest time and was like, nothing's happening, Mimi. Like, is something supposed to be happening? Am I supposed to be feeling something? I would sit there and folks would be talking about how they were able to have a conversation with the spirit, and then the spirit took them to this place and fed them this beautiful meal. And I was just like, this is so magical. Like, where are my spirits? Why aren't they here yet? And there's so many reasons, right? One, that wasn't my medicine then. Receiving through stories and receiving through people and through sound and through being visited wasn't my medicine. My medicine, as I mentioned last time, was through color. Or maybe I mentioned it in my in-person circle, is color. And it really was felt sensation in the body. At that time, when I began the journey, I had difficulty being in my body. Just being in my body. I don't know if you resonate with being a floating head. I feel like a lot of us who operate in modern society like spend a lot of time thinking and are valued for our thoughts and for how we articulate ourselves, all of this that's happening here, but not enough of what's happening like heart and below, right? Our hips, our movement, our flow, our water. A lot of our air qualities live from up here and below too. Air also moves down, not just up and out of our mouths. So I want to continue to encourage you. Thank you, Claudia, for centering us and like being patient with ourselves. We're going to experience as we experience. In my meditations, I really like to encourage you to try to follow the plant, follow that sip to where literally where it goes. Maybe that's your medicine, figuring out exactly where the plantita is meant to offer you healing. And continue to be here, continue to sit, continue to advocate for yourself, turn off the video, make yourself a stronger infusion, a stronger tea. Instead of a tea, make yourself an infusion of oat straw to tell the difference. Some of us are a little less sensitive. Some of us are super sensitive. A tea that's been steeped for 5 minutes before sitting with you, like that gets me to the heart of oat straw. That may not be true yet for you, or it might be true for you. So this is an experiment in figuring out what works best for us and in trusting in process. And I just want to continue to say, you're super courageous, and thank you for trusting in this process. Let's dig in. You identified so many things. When I've sat with the plant, similar to Michelle, I get all like, this is everything I know about this plant. And I want to write it down, and I want to like talk to the plant about it. I'm like, I know you're supposed to be great for the nerves and great for the heart. And I eat oats, so you must be great for the heart. And sometimes, like, again, think about when you're meeting a person for the first time. If you're meeting them for the first time, yeah, you're going in gentle. You're going in, with a lot of quizás reservation, with a lot of honey here and there. If you already know this person, you already know oat straw, and you know they're supportive in this way, I encourage you to, instead of listing all the things that they're awesome in, zooming in on one. Being like, I want to learn more about how you support this area. So as we continue to work with herbs, some that are familiar, really want you to ask yourself, be curious about one particular point. Explore them in that one particular point. See what else they can teach you there. And somebody also asked in the chat, what do you do with all the hierbitas that have already been steeped? What do you do with them? My favorite thing to do with them is sprinkle them on my compost. I like to feed them to my plants. On my plants as like gradual compost. If you don't have animals, I know some cats really love to dig out fresh compost and plantitas. So I wouldn't put it directly in a plant if you have kitty cats. But putting them in the compost is good. Sometimes I'll herbs sit on my altar a little wet. Sometimes I add them to my Rose of Jericho to add with that protection, to open up the heart. I don't like throwing my plants away after I use them. So if you don't have a compost yet, maybe beginning one and looking into that. I have some resources on that. The plant profile will be available to you. We're entering a little bit of plant wisdom. So oat straw. Avena sativa, it's their government name or their botanical name, Avena sativa. For those of us who speak Romance languages, Avena, what is that? You can call it in or type it into the box, Avena. Oats, ¿verdad? Avena, right? Avena. Some of us have avenas in Caribbean cultures, in a lot of Haitian cultures. A porridge, right? A porridge made out of oats, avena. Sativa, what do we know about sativas?
Cannabis.
Cannabis, right? Cannabis, right? And there's different kinds of cannabis, right? Someone wrote weed, right? Sativas are generally, they mellow us out, they descend us. They can be uplifting and opening too, right? what else do we want to say? So this, so oat straw is in the family is other grasses like barleys, bamboos. In Spanish, I call it paja de avena. Paja de avena. Other names for oat straw are groats, and some people call them oatmeal or oatgrass. We tend to work with the grain, the straw, the seed. We work with almost every part of the plant except really, except for the root. We're not really hanging out with the root. If you know root uses, let me know. We harvest oats when they're at their milky stage, so green, and the stalks are still green themselves. Usually in August to October, from the Midwest through the East Coast. You'll have to let me know what's going on in California and on the West Coast. Harvest and dry everything down to the ground. You can cut down to the whole stalk, and you may be able to get more than one yield. It's weather dependent, so cut down to the ground once they've matured and see if they come back. My oats usually do. I get 3 harvests out of them. They've been in the same spot for the past 3 years. So this plantita is, as so many of you have already like touched in on, I like to talk about, so the ethnobotany, right, plant and the ancestor. Many of us went to a field. The oats wanted to take you to their habitat where they are. When I first journeyed with oat straw, they brought me not just to any field. I had never been, I've been to parts of so-called Africa that I've been to are Ethiopia, Tanzania, and South Africa. I've never been to Egypt and near the Nile, and they brought me to oats near the Nile. I couldn't deny it. That's where I specifically went. I feel like they want to bring us to the roots of humanity. They want to remind us, not just fields, right? But some of us were talking about like some place I've known before. They want to bring us back to that place that we knew before, that place that we've forgotten, the story that's been rewritten out of us. Yeah, we are from here, exactly, Natalia's words, right? Yes, we are from here. That reminder that we are from here, the reminder that this 2 billion year old human experience begins in Africa, and begins because of African folks, right? And this ancestor wants to remind us of that. So much of what we know about oat straw before Western herbalism, right, has already happened through African cultures, as oat straw being oat straw in meals, oatmeal, oat porridge, oatmeal to support with everything from any insects you don't want to hear, lice to dandruff, to getting sleeker, beautiful, rich skin. It's been an ally. It's a 4,000-year-old plus ally, literally. Their remains have been found in Egyptian temples that are 4,000 years old. It is said, though, at the time that they were more of a weed, right? A plantita that was just abundant and growing rather than it being cultivated. The cultivation began after that. They are related to corn, right? So Flavia, who brought up corn, who's like, I saw them next to corn. Yes, they are a food, right? Oat straw is a food. The theme of our opening or container is nourishment. All the plantitas that we're working with literally can be eaten, can be picked and eaten, can be converted into food. And our ancestors knew it. They were still eating oats. So commonly, they were used to also stuff mattresses in places where cotton wasn't growing. So the straw, once it was dried. In European Middle Ages, the oats were used to treat painful muscles and any kidney or bladder problems or imbalances, and also to support brain health, right? To the homie that said, I felt them all over my cerebral area, right? Really supportive to brain health. You were not the only person that knew that. Other folks did. From our African native folks, have been working with oats, right, as a food to maintain overall health. So we're going to keep experiencing them over and over. Plantitas that are used as tonics, right? That's what Western herbalism calls them, tonics. We call them food, right? We call them the plants that are part of our everyday experiences. And that somebody's talking about how they're like, yeah, oats have been a big part of my mental experience, and I never knew that you were working with them in that way. Thank you.
So now they're really commercially grown in so many spaces. But back to African cultures and how they're being used there. So oats have been primarily used to maintain overall health, including tumor and cancer prevention. And también with situations of trying to increase libido. Their magic is abundant. They're a centerpiece in so many harvest festivals and so many harvest rituals across culturas, and also a centerpiece in fertility rites. They're fertile, and not just again in Sea Root and Bloom and in the way that I teach. I don't think about fertility in like babies and recreating and giving birth, rather fertility as in like fertile communities that are well fed, communities that are with spirit, communities that are in wellness, folks who birth projects so thinking about fertility in that realm, oats can be used to promote any fertility that you're trying to push in your life, whether it's like a green thumb, whether it's usually around like projects and your little love children that you're birthing into the world, your activist projects, your art pieces, your poetry. They heighten our senses, including heightening mental function, which brings clarity, right? Heightening our senses also opens up a different way to experience our intuition. So for some of us who weren't as open during some of our last plant meditations that we've had so far, this may be the first time you're like, oh, like I feel you. Like not only do I feel you, but I hear the colors, I'm seeing the sounds, I went with you somewhere. They want to take you there. They want to connect you to that higher self. They want to connect you to the ancients, and they want to bring rejuvenation. Like that's part of their spirit medicine and their physical medicine. They want to rejuvenate, they want to nourish you. And for those of us that were feeling heart grief and heart pain, for two reasons I feel that's true. One, calling in the child spirit, right? Oat straw needs so much sun and holds a lot of sun energy, as much as, but también also earth energy. I connect them to solar and the sun, right? They stay tall, connect, like trying to reach up, but also are like so rooted that they can be moved by water. They can be moved by air so easily they flow. Kind of like children, kind of like young people, right? When we're young, we're born knowing the truth that we are loved. We're born knowing the truth that we are connected, that we are a form of spirit, and we are free. And then we become adults in the society, and we begin to fight for our freedom instead of knowing that we are free and living the freedom that we are already innately born with. And so Oster is connected for me too with child, that child, that's sun, right? The solar plexus, some of us were talking about feeling them in their digestive spaces. Whenever the child comes out, that for me is connected to the solar. When we get to the solar plexus module, we'll be just digging into how the child manifests power, how the here at the solar plexus is like our raíces, and how we stand strong in our truths, and where we actually birth our projects, and we birth all those beautiful things that make us feel beautiful and remind us that we're a manifestation or an ancestorifestation of spirit. I love having Ostra hung in my kitchen. I don't know about you, but that's where like I bring all my abundance through, my amazing, my foods, my friendships, all the beautiful conversations are always happening in the kitchen space. If you should have a communal kitchen, even more of a reason to throw some dried oat straws when you get them through. To work with their spirit medicine, I love, like again, working with them dried, and food and ritual baths. If you haven't yet taken an oat straw bath, I suggest you do that. Make yourself an infusion or throw a few handfuls of oat tops once they're either dry or fresh. It don't matter. They're gonna love up on you and allow you to tap into some of those descending energies. As some of you already, right, like called in, they urged us, be like, wash your face. They want to clear. They're literally an ally to eczema and other skin imbalances, acnes, and really love you to wash out wounds. And when you don't have like fresh oat straws or even dried oat straws, but you literally have oats, right? Even like Quaker oats that you got from the grocery store, make yourself an oatmeal and put that on any wound, any piece of acne that you have. Food is medicine. It's all medicine, no matter the form, right? So their affinity is to the nervous system, that feeling of groundedness. I really appreciate how y'all were super intact with like what it means to ground is to descend, but also is to ascend, right? We often think about coming to a space of like grounding our immune system, grounding our nervous system by just like falling into rest, falling into a seated posture or laying and feeling calm and soothed. And that's it, yes. And what also obstruct does though is that because they have affinity to the cardiovascular system, they're also moving, right? They also want to move, pump. They want to pump in passion. They want to pump in flow. They want to get you to move again, and they want to make sure that every bit of you gets that nourishment that you're needing. They're also allied to the muscular system. So if you're needing a little bit of bone, muscular health, if you have had torn any ligament in your life, or just get a lot of sore muscles because you work out a lot, or even just walking as a workout, oat straw might be a really lovely homie to work with. They're restorative and nourishing to the adrenals. Part of module 1 and 2, opening the nourishing herbs, and where we go next is we're practicing nourishment, we're practicing restoration. We're hanging out with herbs that are here to restore our adrenals, these spaces, these parts of our bodies that carry all of our stress responses, right? Our adrenals carry our survival responses, whether we respond right with fight or freeze, or whether we can stay calm in these situations of acute trauma. They can be supportive to grief, to anxiety, right? And plantitas that are supportive to grief, it's not that they're not going to make you feel grief, or they're going to take grief away. There are very few plantitas that numb grief. We'll talk about plantitas that numb because also sometimes we do need to feel a little numb because the grief is so intense. And I won't deny that. I don't go to plantitas for that experience. We'll engage with that more at the heart later on in the program. But for now, and so I'll surface the grief that we're holding, right? The grief of the child, the grief of the lands that were lost, right? The grief of the spaces we've forgotten that we were from. They can be supportive to insomnia, to irritability, and to an overly stimulated nervous system. So if you're like hypervigilant, I work with oat straw in addiction recovery, whether it's addiction recovery from caffeine, narcotics, alcohol, or food-related addictions like anorexia and bulimia. I encourage infusions for all of those. For alcoholism, I encourage infusions. Tinctures can be used, of course, avoiding them, using them if you're working with folks who have narcotic dependencies or who've developed dependencies to alcohol. They promote skin health, nail health, teeth health. They're soothing to the digestive tract. They're a tonic, right? They want to help the bladder, specifically weakened bladders, and the kidneys. They want to clear out. So some of us who've been chugging our oat straw may be finding that we need to go urinate. Please go do that. Take care of your needs. They're a diuretic. They clear out by promoting urination. They're a little, if you allow your oat straw to sit, you'll notice this more in your infusions, that you can, that they'll get a little mucilaginous, a little thick, right? Even mine has already been sitting, 20 minutes? I'm beginning to feel its body form even a little thicker. Remember oats, right? Oatmeal, it's thick, right? It's mucilaginous compounds help proper bowel movements, support with fiber intake, and help absorb toxins too, which helps digestion. There's really solid source of magnesium too. So if you're treating calcium deficiency, really lovely for that. If you're working with any urinary tract infections, super lovely for that as an infusion. I encourage twice a day, 2 quarts if you're working with any of those those imbalances. They can alleviate headaches. I find that my oat straw tincture, like immediate relief, oat straw and lavender for me together as a tincture and really supports my migraines. They really love to support inflamed conditions. ¿Qué más quiero decir? I offer you like an avena latte little recipe that I've been working with and perfecting over the years, so check it out. This will be here for you. I believe it's already uploaded to your curriculum. I'm going to take a moment to check out some questions on the chat and answer some questions. Yeah, okay. Thank you for asking that around celiac or any wheat sensitivities. So this is all from experience, right? And you know your body better than I will or any practitioner will ever know your body. And that is true. You also work and share your magic with other people. Everything we offer is an offering, and we always do it. We always be like, this is an offering. If it begins to not feel good in your body, we pause and you chug a lot of water, right? So folks that I know with gluten allergies and gluten sensitivities are able to work with oat straw in an infusion form, are able to consume the actual fruit, right? But can work with oat straw in this form. I encourage you to check out if you can continue to work with it. And I haven't yet experienced folks who are with gluten allergies who can't work with oat straw. If you do, let me know. So I can add that as a contraindication. Is there a difference between eating oats cooked or raw? Yes, with a lot of, it is true for a lot of different foods, right? So we work with the difference between like the herbal tisane, right, and the infusion, right? Not just the longevity of time, but the heat and the amount of time that it sits there allows compounds to be leached out, right, to come out, the medicine literally to be extracted so we can consume it in that form. Some medicine is better extracted or more potently extracted in certain forms. I have found, and hundreds of years of research of folks who have been working with oats and cooking it right in oat straw or as a purge, right, will vouch that oats in a heated form are better than raw. Since oat straw and oats are mucilaginous, are they not the best to drink or when we have lots of mucus or congestion or mucus in the head? Case by case, such a beautiful and smart question. Yes, I love that question. I work with oat straws when I'm congested, when I have cold still. They're not my primary ally. I'll add more nettles than oats. If I'm needing more of a calming effect, if I'm needing a little bit more of a descending effect, and a little bit of like food, right? I find that a nettles, oat straw, and a little bit of red clover, and then a lemon balm infusion when I have a cold, really literally feel like they're feeding me and cleaning me all at the same time. Let me know how it goes for you though. If your tea cools down and when you first start drinking it, it makes your throat feel sore at first. Is that a sign that it would benefit you more from a hot tea and a tisane? Yeah, okay. So last time we started to connect with this question around cold and hot teas. Our bodies are gonna be super red clover. Red clover, nettles, oat straw, and lemon balm was the little recipe that I named earlier. Yeah, so our bodies might respond. We're going to be getting more into our body constitutions. Body constitutions talk about, so basically we're trying to understand like when we have hot conditions and when we have cold conditions. And I are really hot, and so I tend to really appreciate more cool to lukewarm teas or infusions. Either way, I'm working with them. And that works really well for my body. Though I can also do hot tisanes in a shorter time span. So I'm gonna keep asking you to pay attention to that. If it's making your sore throat, I really love your intuition of being like warm is better for you at this moment, and see if cold ends up being better for you in a different moment.
Okay.
I cannot believe that we only have like half an hour left. It's freaking me out. Yeah, so the second session is from 7 to 9. The first one's from 7 to 10:30. Mostly because capacity and because I want to do ritual the second session. So I want to move into that. I want to get there. So I call this ceremony for resistance, and it'll be a block that we'll work with always in our second session. I'll ask you to bring either some some tools, nothing extreme, something light to keep you present, right, in building your altar spaces and building your ceremony practices. For this section, we're gonna be splitting up into groups, and we're not gonna actually leave into a group. I'm gonna share the groups that you're in, and I split us up into 7 groups based on the elements. I'm gonna try my best to plug them into the chat. And I want you to pay close attention to the group that you're in. We're gonna do something with that. So the Fire Clan just came through. God, man, and if there are folks not in your group here today, it's cool. We're still gonna move through. The Wind Clan is being posted up. We're gonna post the Water Clan next. The Earth Clan, which is the direction of the ancestors and the elders. The Above Clan, which is the direction of the sun, the moon, the fairies, the angels, and all that magic fairy dust. The Below, or the Mother Earth, the Tonantzin Sachamama Clan, right? Where we lay down to bear, ask for forgiveness. And the Clan of the Center is being posted. This is the space where the one heart lives, the one heartbeat, the reminder that we come, that we are one, and that this self-healing is collective. We're gonna move into a space of some light self-reflection before we move into a short ceremony, which will lead us into some energy work. And the prompts are, so I'm gonna type them in here so you can also have them. Thank you for being super patient. So whatever direction you're in, this is the prompt. So to the fire, I ask. To the fire, I ask for passion and courage so that my healing journey may be full of love and coraje. And to the fire, we offer. This is a ceremony. The elements, the ancestors, the spirits are offering so much of themselves to be our teachers, to be our guides, to hold space. As we cannot open our container without feeding them. So we're gonna, in this short ceremony, we'll be asking something from them, and we'll also be offering. What do we offer? You can offer them courage. You can offer them vulnerability. You can offer them stories. You can offer them food. You can offer them many altars. So whatever clan you're in, whether you're at the center, the earth, the water, we're gonna take a few moments, just like write down what comes through. Like, I offer you this, I offer you that. So if you have a blessing herb near you and you haven't been stoking your fire, right? This is the time to stoke your fire. And I ask that you go through the blessing herb list and choose, one or two, ideally just one, it doesn't have to be too intense, of one herb that you're working with that is always present with you during our gatherings and that you're working with daily to open or close your day to allow you to descend into this body, right? But also connect to spirit. That's what our yerbas do. Stoking our fire, right? That's what that's the tradition that I come with working with blessing herbs, either herbs on coals, right? Or using your lighter to light them up to fill the space. Blessing herbs again are, they thin the space, they thin the dimensions, they thin all the barriers that keep us disconnected from spirit. Spirit is so open and accessible to us when these yerbitas are blazing a fire, right, and are stoked. I also call it sending smoke signals to ancestor, and we'll talk more about that later. So for the ceremony, begin by repositioning yourself. So you need to move a little bit, open your heart a little bit, stretch your knees a little bit by opening them and closing them. Do that. And come to a posture where you're feeling a little erect and open. With your fire in front of you. Now I encourage you to, every session that we gather, right, to sit in front of your altar or have it nearby or having pieces of your altar near you. This is my little baby today. The hierbitas and water and some quartz. Similar to how we open and close the directions in this ceremonial, we invite all the elements to be present. Call on the fire to be here today. On aire, air, tierra, agua, water. The above, the below, the center to be here. Holding your fire, whether you're holding your blessing herb or if you have a candle and you want it, this is the time to light it. However you represent fire, bring it forth. If you're sitting in the clan, the fire clan, this will be your space to share. Or ancestor festing. So with that powerful voice, right? Like the powerful voice of the spoken word artist, the poet, the revolutionary, like hold the mic and ask spirit. So to the fire spirits, I ask for courage so that I may facilitate with love from a space of openness and vulnerability. To the fire spirits, I offer you a lineage of warriors who sacrificed their bodies so that I may be here. So anyone from the fire clan, feel free to unmute yourself. And if you're bearing witness in the ceremony, every other clan, feel free to, to be present in your bodies with eyes closed, to receive the energy flowing from the individual's word.
To the fire, I want to ask for courage to always advocate, to address, and to consistently acknowledge.
Ache. You can give an affirmation. Ache, aho, amen.
To the fire, I ask for wisdom, guidance, freedom, ease, health and energy, desire and expansion.
To the fire, I want to ask for warmth and unconditional love, the ability to move like you, to grow wild or small, to change color, to dance with the wind, bend and be flexible. I ask for more moments to sit with myself and reflect, to be present with ancestors and spirit. I want to ask for deep journey with myself, to go into the earth, go into myself, into my memory. To the fire, I offer you my time to tend to you as you guide my journey. Ashe.
We move to the air clan. The air clan. Does anyone have an offering for what we ask of the air?
Ask for light, new beginnings, flexibility, peace, travel, new faces, new lands to explore, unfold, and heal upon.
To the wind, I want to ask for the ability to move freely in all spaces as you do, and to move through and around all obstacles with grace. To the wind, I offer my trust.
To the wind, I offer companionship. I offer an open mind and heart to learn your ways and move beyond density. I offer warm tea steam, palo santo and cedar smoke, and breath. I offer breath.
Okay. If you have a feather or even closing your palm, make sure to bring some wind, some air to the space. Move around, feel the wind. Anyone else in the air clan want to ask and give to the wind? To the water. In the water clan.
To the water, I ask for confidence to go with the flow, all the while maintaining my alignment and existing as I am, to recognize where there is nourishment and to flow toward it. To the water, I offer honesty. I offer you my dance in the morning, my flowing hips, my tears of joy and my laughter and my dreams. Ashe. To the water, I ask for alignment with my intuition, vulnerability, clarity in my knowing, psychic and spiritual awareness, warmth and impatience, cooling and calm, peace, groundedness in the flowing,
in a way that's flowing and heartfelt. And to the water, I offer my full attention, vulnerability, trust, openness, the willingness to heal, and my emotions. Ashe.
Yeah.
To the water, I want to ask for healing, cleansing rituals, freedom from buried traumatic grief, and nourishment for the mind, body, and spirit. Into the water, I offer you honesty, commitment to resistance, to liberation, to freedom, and plant allies to carry you in your currents. Thank you.
To the north, to the direction of the ancestors and the ancient ones.
To the ancestors, I ask for support and forgiveness and patience. To the earth and to the ancestors, I offer my devotion, my time and commitment, and playfulness for when we get stuck.
Ashe.
To the earth, I ask for forgiveness for all the times I have walked on your back or in ignorance acted in a way that may scar your body or support institutions that may do the same. To the earth, I ask for all that you already share so generously. I ask for love and a place of peace I may fall back into when I die and when my family and future family die. A home of eternity, always traveling, yet always suspended as a stone in water. To the earth, I offer you a field of flowers, a life of trying to follow what is good and beautiful. I offer you my listening ears and open heart.
The ancestors into the earth, I ask for decomposition of toxicity, and I ask for patience and for a space for my feet to walk in the direction I was meant to. And to the earth and to my ancestors, I offer presence and deep energy put towards harmony with you and with all of your children.
To the above spirits, to the fairies, the sun, the moon, the stars.
To the sun, moon, fairies, and angels above, I want to ask you for guidance, protection, reminders of my divinity, love in all its forms, and faith and trust in my path. To the ones above, I offer you space, gratitude, an altar with blessings and offerings, my heart and my faith.
To the above, the sun, the moon, the fairies, and the angels, I offer you commitment, compassion, sticking with it, patience, and kindness. And to you, I ask for patience, for compassion, and for helping me to finally land.
To the above, I ask for protection and guidance for the life that I am leading and will live. I ask for love and reminders of my own value and deserving of existing. I ask for warmth and kindness. I ask for wisdom and care. To the above, I offer peanut M&Ms. I offer my dreams tonight. I offer my smiles, my joy. I offer love that I feel from my closest peoples. I offer smoke.
To the below direction, which can be the underworld, which is also such a mamaton unseen. We offer, we ask.
To the below, Mother Earth, the underworld, I want to ask for warmth, love, courage, support, and confidence. For connection with my ancestors, for remembrance of my past lives, for wisdom, intuition, and psychic growth. To the below, we offer you our courage, our love, our respect, our fearlessness, and laughter.
To the below, I want to ask for acceptance. I want to ask for becoming and beginning. And I want to ask for homecoming. I want to offer my protection, my acknowledgement. I want to offer my action, my learning. And I want to offer my understanding, even when it's difficult.
Okay.
To the below direction, to Tonantzin, I want to ask for the tools and comfort of self-love and being cared for, of being held, of being nestled below in that space beneath, to be open to an understanding of the deservedness that we all have for receiving care from ourselves and from others. To the below, to Tonantzin, we offer you our humble gratitude, our vulnerability, as you are our first mother in many ways, and our prayers for sending energy and love down to you through the palms of our hands into the earth below.
To the center, we offer ourselves. We ask of ourselves.
I ask for a consumption familiar to an ever-present love and guidance. Um, I ask for the strength to feel familiar, for this body to feel familiar again, what it used to feel like. I want to be pulled into the center, and I can offer my presence, communion, the smoke of candles and herbs.
To the center, I ask for the wisdom of coherence and cohesion, sacred stillness like resin that calls, brings, and holds together all the medicine. And I offer you attention and tenderness, care and trust, humility and honesty, resonance and reflection, and a pulse, a soft, beautiful, and cleared space to be full.
The center, I offer honesty. I offer the truth of my emotion. I offer vulnerability. To the center, I ask for the power of forgiveness of myself, of others, to accept changes and transition fully, and to embrace and flow with them.
Holding yourself at the center. Bringing breath to the center and touch to the center. We offer nourishing connections to the center. We offer honesty and vulnerability. We offer blessing herbs. We offer altars and adornments and oils and smiles. We offer gentleness to ourselves, just like we award it to others. We offer ourselves honey to our words, to our thoughts, and actual honey. We offer ourselves the opportunity to be in community. We offer ourselves the opportunity to remember together. Inhaling, placing your hands in any part of your body that is needing some extra love tonight. Part of our work in sinking into our intuitive senses is working with energy. We worked last time, we are alchemizers, we create energy. So if you need to rub your hands together to get your energy flowing, then laying hands on yourself, the area that is needing some extra love. We're going to feed extra love to this area. May it be fed by the 7 directions that we gave to ask of to show up to this circle, to open this container, this journey of the self-healer, this journey that reminds us that we are beautiful with our wounds. Offer energy to this space, this one heartbeat that we're sharing right now. Bring breath to these spaces. Bring prayers to these spaces. Bring songs to these spaces. Let's allow the spirits of the elements to carry us home. Spirit of the fire, carry me home. Carry me home to myself. Spirit of the water, carry me home. Carry me home to myself. Spirit of the wind, carry me home. Carry me home to myself. Spirit of the earth, carry me home. Carry me home to myself. Spirit of the ancestors, carry me home. Carry me home to myself. Spirit of the moon, carry me home. Carry me home to myself. Spirit of the fairies, carry me home. Carry me home to myself. Spirit of love, carry me home. Carry me home to myself. You can always bring song, no matter how beautiful or how janky you sound, you can bring song to the circle, to the elements. And with much love and humility, I call you to rise, to close the gateways that have greeted us and have said hello and have said yes to us tonight. Whether you choose to stand or sit, to close the directions. Call you to get into that position. Descending into our feet or into our bodies, wherever we are. Or if you need to lay, because you've been sitting for a while, do the thing. We face that east. Casa del Este, to the house of the east, the house of intuition, the house of illumination, house where the sun rises. We've come to close your portal today. We want to thank you for making yourself known, known in the fire, known in the child memories, the child, the sun, the swaying, the bliss in the prairies, and the fields of oat straw that you bore into our memories, bore into our remembrance, so that we may remember our beginnings. So that every time that we plant new beginnings, we remember the beginnings of all beings. And that we remember the Blackness that we come from, the Africanness that we come from, so that we may do better with each seed that we plant. To the direction of the east, to the child, to the fire, to the venados running around in the summertime, to possibility, we say, gracias, gracias, gracias. Tatsoklamatli, ache, aho.
A la dirección del sur, to the direction of the south, we've come to close your portal today. With much humility and gratitude, we've come to say thank you for your teachings on what it's like to fly, to have wings. Thank you for the air that blessed us, the blessing smokes of copal and sage and frankincense and all the blessing herbs that filled our space so that the veil may get thinner so that we may be with spirit. To the spirits that lie with the winds here in the southern direction, here what the space of Colibri, the space of the winged ones, here the space of the warrior, we say thank you. Thank you for your offerings on what it means to have courage, to trust in community, to trust that we can defy time and space by the act of gathering, by the act of remembering. May we continue to take these teachings of courage into our mundane lives, and may spirit find us there. Much love, humility, and gratitude we say. Gracias, gracias, gracias. Ache. Aho. Casa del Norte, Casa del Oeste, House of the West, House of Intuition, House of the Waters, here the underworld, here where our queer, our trans are taken too soon, are taken why, are taken now. Here where those who have died giving childbirth, the children have passed too soon. Here where they go to rest. We come to close your portal, but not before saying thank you. Thank you for making your presence known today, making your presence known today in the waters, in the grief we felt in our hearts, in the ripples we felt in our backs, in the subtle vibrations, in the sensations, in the realization that we are emotional beings and that we deserve tears and that we deserve to feel all the feelings whenever we feel them. With much gratitude and humility, we say, gracias, gracias, gracias. Ache. Aho. A la dirección del norte, to the direction of the north, we've come to close your portal today. With much gratitude and humility, ancestors, ancient ones, elders, we come to say thank you. Thank you for imparting your wisdom in the visions, in the words, in the sensations, in the smells, in the textures, and in this ritual of gathering, of being in ceremony, of committing to community, committing to spirit, committing to transformation by facing the mirror of our wounds, by facing the pain, by facing the suffering, by facing the trauma. Thank you for holding us. Thank you for this earth. With love and humility, we say, gracias, gracias, gracias. Ache. Aho. Coming down to the earth, whether you're flopping over your body to just put your hands on the earth or you're flopping your whole body on the earth, we come to you, Sachamama Tonantzin. Tonantzin. Holding you or lying heart to heart to you, we come to offer our gratitude and to ask, did we do better tonight? To the elders, the native keepers, the Black liberation fighters who keep this land, we come to say thank you for lending your land so that we may be here. Thank you for making space for our ceremony. Thank you for making space for our healing, for our learning. Here, we come to say thank you to ourselves for being in right relation with the native elders, for being in right relation here with Sachamama Tonantzin, for feeding ourselves from her nourishment, feeding ourselves her herbs, being with her minerals, being with all of her spirits. May we continue to protect her. May we continue to move with this heartbeat, heart to heart, protecting her back to the world and walk upon her with more reverence, with more humility. And know, remembering that here lies our first mother, right beneath our toes, right beneath our feet. We are always held. We are never alone.
Much love and gratitude, we say, Tlatzoclamatli. Ache. Oh. Sitting back in our seat, placing our hands over our heart. We begin and we close each circle practice aquí en el centro. For here at the center live the teachings of Inlakech, of I am your other you. Here we remember that you are not free until I am free. You are not fully loved until I am fully loved. Our struggles, there's not my struggles and their struggles. These are our struggles. Here we remember the one struggle, the one heartbeat, the one truth, that we are one. That every breath we take is for the collective. That each healing moment we experience heals the collective. And this work of the self-healer heals the ancestors, which heals the collective. Here at the one heartbeat, breathe in everything that the center is needing right now. Breath, stillness, more truth-telling, safety, more abundance, justice, here at the center. Thank ourselves for showing up tonight, showing up to another moment of ritual practice of remembrance. So with much love and humility that you are deserving, that you are worthy of, bow to yourself and bow to your higher self and the collective selves with gratitude, saying, Tlatzoclamatli. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ache. Oh. Begin to bring sensation to your body, swaying, moving the belly down. Remember to be gentle with yourself. Drink a lot of water. To continue to be with your plantitas, to continue to be with each other. I cannot believe we've opened our container. I'm super, 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 super grateful and excited to be on this journey with each and every single one of you. Our home practice is really delicious. We're going to launch our kind of Billo Buddies. So I'm going to ask for you to connect with someone in Círculo outside of this container over the next moon. Home practice also gives you a bonus if you want to sew your own little medicine bundle pouch, which I do with my in-person students. And in-person practice, the home practice also calls you to share a lot, share what we're doing together. This is not insular work, right? What separates our work from self-care, right? And work that we're doing in our private sphere is that we're doing community work. And we're doing it even when we're enclosed, and also we're gonna bring it to the community. By sitting and having a cup of tea and sharing a nourishing herb, maybe an herb that resonated with us, and sharing it with someone who we need it. And sharing the medicine and sharing the abundance. I'll be releasing the home practice right now on the student portal and sending you links to all the things. Please send me your questions, your love. Next session, we get to hear from La Loba. If you haven't posted your questions on the group or email, please do. Any questions on what brujeria feminista means and what it means to have a socially conscious earth practice and socially conscious ancestor practice and a socially conscious healing practice that honors all beings, plants, minerals, people, this realm and all the planes. With much love and humility, I am Xochitl, and this is my home in the heart of Boston, Wampanoag, Quina lands, and Black Liberator lands. I love you all so much. I hope you have a blessed, blessed night. Adios.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches, fam.
Chao.
Buenas noches.
Good night.
Night.
Good night, everybody.